Welcome to the second part of my study abroad vlog series. My name is mai-lan Spiegel. I have come back to my birth country, and I think that I have come to a lot of realizations and come to face a lot of reality in the sense of my first vlog was a lot more like a vacation rather than a actual living experience.
I cannot believe.
Nah, that's not.
Okay, 2 goals.
Disappointing. Look at everybody's face. I know, everybody's.
And the silence is made again. All around me are.
Just finished getting ready and I'm about to go to see the lady. Her name is Joy, who picked me out for my parents. She worked for a local adoption agency and she still does. And I'm about to go have lunch with her, so I'm kind of nervous, but I think that it will go well. The dog, yeah. We just put him in the cage. He's so cute.
The little house thing you got is really nice.
I was thinking about calling him Hamilton, but I wasn't sure. I think it might be a girl.
His or her name.
Oh, she's so cute.
Yeah, I think it's a she, because I looked, but it looked like it had a vagina. But I'm not sure. I've experienced a lot of cultural differences in the way that Vietnamese people interact in an urban environment in contrast to the way that Americans act. Vietnamese people are a lot more observant in the way that they watch you when you walk. And it's not just me or anybody or other Americans. It's the way that they just watch everything. They kind of just watch the environment kind of pass by. Like a lot of them will just sit in the restaurants and or in the food stands with on the little like chairs, and you sit and you eat, and they just watch. And it's not in a menacing or creepy way. It's a more of just a noticing way of taking in the environment. And in that way, I find it very respectful, because in America, there is a issue with catcalling, calling out women on the street, or just like calling out somebody. And I think that the way that they interact, or like I guess the lack of interaction, has really made me feel less intimidated about being in this environment. I was very comfortable in the beginning here during my time here. Like I said, I felt really like I fit in. But the more I'm here, the more I realize the disparity between me and the Vietnamese people. Based on cultural differences. I am American. I'm Vietnamese American. I'm physically Vietnamese. In America, I was not socially accepted into Vietnamese cultures, but I was always came to this point with other Vietnamese second generation people who, when they got to know me more, they realized that I really didn't have any of that culture. Not that I hid it or anything, but it's just that I didn't take off my shoes when I came in. I don't know how to make like traditional Vietnamese dishes. There's just certain mannerisms of me that are very American. And I really felt very like I didn't belong with people who looked like me. And now that I am here with a bunch of people who look like me, I realized that I can't just put myself in an environment and expect to fit in. And I don't think that I don't belong anywhere. I don't think that anybody necessarily feels like a long sense of belonging. And like people feel a sense of belonging for a little bit, but people grow and people become different from the environment that they're around. And if you're not growing, then you're not like you're stagnant. And I think that I'm a continuously growing person. So it's made me realize that I just accepted that I'm always going to feel like a sense of estrangement from my birth culture. They usually turn to me because I look Vietnamese. So there is that expectation that I would speak Vietnamese. And so clearly I can't help, and that's made me feel really helpless and very not degraded, but I felt very like I felt bad because I couldn't communicate with them. I think that one of them said she's Viet, but she doesn't speak Vietnamese, and it kind of hit because it made me feel like I'm not Vietnamese, and I guess in a way I'm not. I'm physically Vietnamese. And I've gotten a lot of questions from Grab drivers, and Grab drivers are just like Ubers, but they usually use their mopeds or bikes to come pick you up, and it's a very useful service here in Vietnam. And they usually do speak Vietnamese only, and some of them do ask me questions, and it's kind of difficult to explain, but I think that when I just tell them that I'm American, I think that's really cleared up a lot of confusion and the problem, because initially I would say English to them. I'm like, sorry, English. And I think that maybe it confused them, thinking that I chose not to speak Vietnamese to them. And I think identifying myself as American has really helped me come to terms with like who I am culturally, how I was raised. I don't think it's something that I should be ashamed of, and I'm not ashamed of it, but I was a little bit like I said, it made me feel different. It made me feel like I didn't belong here. And it's so different because in America, being Vietnamese made me feel like I didn't belong. But talking with her name is Joy, really helped me come to terms with a lot of the feelings I've been having about like cultural estrangement and like this cross-cultural communication I've had and interactions I've had all my past like 2+ weeks here. She was also adopted. She was one of the first children out of Vietnam to be adopted. And she was raised in the United States, and she's been living in Vietnam for 25 years now. So she came back to her birth country, just like me, and I think that talking with her about cultural differences and cultural, just like mannerisms and like behaviors of the people has really helped me come to an understanding of the way people are here. She was very helpful, and she also gave me a great volunteer opportunity to work with my brother's sister adoption orphanage here in Saigon, which works with children with disabilities. So I would be helping them do rehabilitation exercises. I'd be helping them, putting them to sleep, feeding them. I'd probably only go on Saturdays or Sundays, depending upon my schedule. And I think that this really helped me repurpose why I'm here. I feel like I've always felt so lucky and so ungrateful, like undeserving to be in the position that I am, to be given so many opportunities, to give an education, and to just have loving parents, people who actually love me, and to be given in this environment where I'm surrounded by not just love, but like just first world commodities. It's been something that a lot of people take for granted, and I think that not necessarily I didn't take for granted, but I always felt very guilty about it. And so I think that really giving back to children who were in my position will help me come to terms with like not feeling so bad about leaving my country and leaving a better life than was originally planned, I guess. Not that being adopted wasn't destiny, because I think that a lot of it was in my favor and a lot of it was fate. But I think that I was saved by my parents. I was saved from working on View Street, being a prostitute.